I've had bad experiences with psychedelics, and by bad I mean bad, horrible, nightmare, psychotic trips where you go to the hospital and you're running around naked and all that, and it's just...
It's a little bit of sensory overload. Like you hear everything, all the little people. I hear something going on.
I would like to personally and warmly welcome you to the very first episode of Flashback Friday. It was about 5 years ago, almost exactly to this day, that Psych Substance first launched its very first video, which was LSD versus alcohol.
Adam, what are you doing?
So to celebrate 5 years of Psych Substance, I have decided that this is the year where we are finally going to have some scheduled videos. Can we cue some applause? Every Friday, I am going to be doing what's called Flashback Friday, where I release a previously deleted Psych Substance video. In 2015 alone, I've got just around 20 or so videos. So the metal heats up, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate. And all these people are so terrified. And that's when I started reading Alan Watts.
2 puffs of a joint.
Closed eye hallucinations, or mescaline hydrochloride, you would take... What's going on? Why are my feet soaked in blood? Definitely a bit, not too crazy though. I'm going to be telling you guys about the time that I took 2CB at work. At this point, my jaw drops. I'm just like, the effects are subjective. Oh, gross. It's about to get even more ridiculous. This dude looks like a land troll. And some of these very few, if any of you guys have ever actually seen before, because they were only on my channel during 2015. Now, not to hold things up any longer, but before we do have our flashback, I want to let you guys know that I am launching, as a celebration for this moment, specifically 100 of these special edition, limited edition, black Psych Substance hoodies. Essentially, all we've done is inverted it from white to black, and we've kept the little trippy cat heads the same color, which gives it this really subtle effect where at a distance you can't even tell that it's like blotter art. I actually really like it. This is something that I would wear going out. And when I say there's only 100 available, I mean they're actually immediately available. I have a box in front of me with 100 of these hoodies, and we are not going to be ordering more. So if you do want to pick up one of these special edition celebration hoodies, you can head on over to psychsubstance.shop and place your order immediately.
According to YouTube's guidelines shown here, videos which intend to educate are documentary by nature and do not glorify the use of drugs. Both abide by the community safety guidelines and are eligible for monetization. The following video does not glorify the use of drugs, instead it attempts to be non-biased while delivering vital life-saving information disguised as entertainment. We do not display graphic use. There are no scenes showcasing drug consumption, and any insinuation of use should be taken as satirical at best. Thanks, YouTube.
I've had bad experiences with psychedelics, and by bad I mean there's bad trips and bad, horrible, nightmare, psychotic trips where you go to the hospital and you're running around naked and all that, and it's just absolute freakouts where it's like hell, you get trauma after there, a little bit of HPPD. So I've taken a long break from psychedelics, like probably 2 years. So this will be like the first real psychedelic I've had over the past 2 years, and we're going to start small. Also my first time with the substance, so you always have to be careful.
Ideally, you start with what's called an allergy test, which is where you take less than the threshold amount. So say that threshold effects were felt at, 2 milligrams. You'd take half a milligram or 1 milligram, you'd put it on your tongue, and you would wait an hour to 2 hours to see if you had some kind of allergic reaction to it. And moving forward from there, that is when you would start your first dose being low.
So we're going to be starting off at 10 milligrams, depending on where you check. It's a light dose.
Right, and we do have benzodiazepines handy just in case he can't handle himself, and there's no shame in taking those at all. It's much better to take that than to end up in the hospital or, with post-traumatic stress. It's really something that everyone who trips needs to have in their arsenal. You need trip killers. Granted, with the dose this low, I don't foresee him needing them, but you never know, and that's why you have to have them, because psychedelics are unpredictable. So you need to take as many precautions as you can. A large majority of traumatic psychedelic experiences happen because someone either dosed too high with an untested chemical that turned out being something totally different, or because they were in the wrong state of mind and with the wrong people. We hope that the following documentary can demonstrate why it is important to keep your doses low and that it's still possible to enjoy yourself even while practicing safe use. Are you nervous?
A little bit, but actually much less nervous than the MDA. Worst case scenario, we take a benzo, we'll be fine. But even without that, I think I should be able to get out of the headspace. But we'll see. Also, I did get plenty of rest. Yeah, and I've eaten light, though.
Okay, sounds good. I think we're ready to go.
Let's do it.
2CB is largely regarded as one of the beginner psychedelics because it doesn't go nearly as deep as LSD or mushrooms, but it does go deeper than things like MDMA. Most people describe the experience, at least at low doses, as causing enhanced sociability, similar to MDMA. And as doses increase, people relate it more to LSD because that's when you can start getting psychedelic visuals, deep philosophical thinking, and even auditory hallucinations, to name a few. That being said, individual experiences do vary, and for extra sensitive individuals, it's very possible to go very deep with this compound. It all just really depends on your sensitivity and the size of your dose. Even for people who aren't sensitive, if they take a large enough dose, they're going to go pretty damn deep. 2CB is considered to be physically safe and non-addictive. There currently exists 0 reports of someone overdosing and dying. However, it must be made clear that just because it's physically safe doesn't mean that it is necessarily safe to consume. It still is a psychedelic compound, and as such, it can create very challenging mental and emotional experiences. As such, it should be treated with respect and caution, the same as with any psychedelic. It's still very possible to have a bad trip, which can cause long-lasting trauma, anxiety, and even something like PTSD. It is also very possible to accidentally consume a dangerous imposter substance that was sold to you as 2CB, especially if you fail to reagent test it. Reagent testing is the most important thing that you can do if you intend to consume 2CB or really just any drug. At the very minimum, you are going to need the following 3 reagent tests. All that you really do is take a little sample of your powder, put a drop of this on, and you follow a chart that you find online to see what color it changes to. If it changes to the right color, then you might have the actual drug you think you have and it can be safe to consume. But if the wrong color change happens, you could have something very different and something even dangerous. If you're interested in learning more information on safe use practices, you can find some links in the video description.
Okay, so... Whoa. Everything sounds a little bit more intense. For anxiety, it's like... Probably if I took more, I wouldn't feel too comfortable with it. But right now, it's manageable. It's interesting. Whoa.
Let's try putting some music on.
Yeah.
Just want to get up and dance. All right, we are exactly 1 hour in, and how you feeling, Michael?
I'm feeling pretty good. I think 10's good enough for me. 15 might be, ooh. It's like if you have a negative thought, okay, you're still able to get out of it. You can go to positive thought. Interesting right now, because I actually am more encompassed in my thoughts and just the curiosity of a little kid. I want to say it, of course, but I think at higher doses it'd be just like, I just want to listen to all the music and just...
Well, we got some nice, calm, relaxing music too,
Right.
which helps. It definitely can set the mood.
Right, if I was probably listening to like heavy metal right now, ooh, I do want to experiment at a festival, see what it's like there with the lights, because that's usually my comfort spot.
Hey guys, we're here in Niagara. We're going to full 2CB experience. I really love
Canadian chocolate.
I love this Canadian chocolate. It's like so juicy. It's just like, oh my goodness.
Juicy, eh? That's a good word.
Have a
What is
wonderful
it?
night. Coffee crisp.
huh?
It's like, I really like licking it, but oh my goodness.
Maybe be careful around the road.
Chewing's a little bit difficult, but taste, it's like everything is amazing chocolate. It's like it stays in your mouth for a couple of minutes and it's incredible. Wow. All the little lights, like I'm distracted, like I feel like a little kid again. Like that big light over
You
there.
have to
Jeez.
talk that loud. Mike, I feel like I'm MTV or something following you around.
Feels a little strange. Act normal. Just casual civilian. Hello. 3 hours in. So at the very beginning, it was super intense. Almost couldn't handle it. I was looking at the carpet. I was like, wow, everything. People shooting. But that's just the haunted house. Oh, you get distracted by everything. Within the first 30 minutes, there was a lot of patterns, but it's not like it's crazy visuals. You just get super enticed to everything. So you just want to follow. My whole body kind of feels like liquid. At first, I thought I pissed on myself, but then I was like, wait, no. Everything feels like liquid. It's weird. It's just like, whoa. It's not like Molly in terms of, I don't know. I keep comparing it to Molly, but it's not. It's
How about being out in public?
being out in public.
Yeah.
I actually feel confident. Like, I don't give a f. It's just like, whatever. I kind of want to pick up girls. Or
It appears as if Mike is handling himself fine in public. However, this is still not advised. Remember, Mike has an experienced trip sitter with him. You also cannot relate his experience to your own. These compounds do affect everyone in a very different way.
There's moments where it's like super intense. Whoa. Yo, I want to go on top of that. Gotta act normal. Just a casual civilian. Paper money. How do humans work? I'm afraid of heights, but I don't know why. I kind of want to really go up there. It's just the inner curiosity. Like, it kind of feels like a psychedelic fentanyl in a way, where I feel more confident. I want to chat with people a little bit. Still kind of like thinking, huh? Oh, yo. Wow. Okay, the lights. Oh, that tower looks so beautiful right there. Is that the falls? Whoa.
And these were citing demonic Satan verses.
I'm spooked, but I like it. Oh, I like the little pretty colors. Ooh, psych substance going up. Zombie attack. Zombie attack. Front. Whoa, whoa. Bit of sensory overload. Like, you hear everything, all the little people. I hear something going on. Hear everything, like the little kids. I think that's enough.
It's talking to you.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. Now, there were moments of uncertainty, like the last loop on the Ferris wheel. I was getting a little spooked there, but we're here on the ground. The falls sound amazing. Like, it's so calm. There's a lot of calm elements to this trip. Like, looking off right behind you, I can see the beautiful city, the cyan, the purples, the indigos, the greens, all the colors look so calming. Now, behind the camera, there's crazy forest. It's just like you. Now, I want to make sure for the camera viewers out there, I did take 10, and honestly, for festivals, I'd probably take less. Now, that may seem to some of you like that's a really light dose, but for me, there was moments where it was intense, and I'd rather have a good time than be like, oh, okay, we're gonna be on the same level. I'm not a pussy.
But intense, even though you have someone trip sitting you, like it was
right.
Still like
Intense, even with the trip sitter, somebody that I know. Like, it's gonna be safe. So if you are by yourself out there in public, wait, is that the camera? Is that the camera? That's the camera.
That's the camera, that's the light. You got it.
Okay, I was looking at the light.
No.
All right, there's the
He's
cue.
been looking at the light the whole time. The camera's up high.
I just see a bright light. I'm like, woo! Wee! Anyways.
You get what you're saying, though. Stay
So,
safe.
yeah, you need to stay safe because if it was just me by myself at a festival with unknown people, maybe it could go fantastic. But there is a chance that I could meet some bad people.
So are the effects lessening now? Would you say you're coming back down?
The effects are lessening a little bit, but I'm still amazed that little things are.
It was interesting getting out of bed today. Didn't really have the super bunch of motivation, but I'm feeling okay. The come down, it was all right. Nothing too bad. Yeah, that's pretty much that.
Did you feel any come down? Like, do you notice that you're lower than usual? It's hard to tell, though, because you're also a phenibut.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it was like slightly less emotions than usual and less like motivation to get out of bed and like yay, excited, but not too much negative. Yeah, not much of a come down.
That's good. Considering the dose, that's kind of to be expected. So for today's story, I'm going to be telling you guys about the time that I took 2CB at work. For those of you who don't know, 2CB is a phenethylamine class drug. It was first invented by Alexander Shulgin, and many people describe it as a mix between LSD and MDMA, but nothing like taking them both together. Personally, I've never really understood this explanation. For me, it feels nothing like LSD or MDMA. A lot of people say it feels like MDMA because it gives them this like empathetic type feeling where they're really open and chatty. And they say it's like LSD because you get, visual distortions and it's a very colorful psychedelic. Now, as for the physical effects, what I have personally noticed is I always get this very like strange tingling feeling in my skin. Like it's hard to describe. It almost feels less sensitive and more sensitive all at the same time. However, sex feels phenomenal on this stuff. If I could pick a substance as like the aphrodisiac sex drug, it would be 2CB. Let's get on with my story. I was quite bored and quite arrogant. I was confident that I could spice up my time at work and have a better time if I took about 15 milligrams of 2CB. Probably a stupid decision. Anyway, so I remember there was a bit of a battle in my head, like, do I really want to do this? Can I handle this? Mind you, 15 milligrams is a pretty modest dose. That's an average dose for some, but for me to, like, really feel it, I need to take at least 30 milligrams of 2CB. I mean, I can feel 15, for sure, but I'm not going to be, like, really tripping out. So, I took the drug, I think at 11, and I remember I was working at my desk, and about 40 minutes had passed, and I wasn't really feeling anything, and then around the 50-minute mark, things started to creep up on me. Like my skin started getting a little tingly and I was having a really difficult time focusing on like my computer screen. Like it was difficult to look at the little, like to type and to read the information. I was proofreading some stuff and I was having a hell of a difficult time accurately proofreading anything. And around this time, as it started to come on, my manager decided to come and tell me something. Now, it was pretty rare that my manager would leave her desk and come all the way over to where I was. This wasn't a normal occurrence. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have taken it. I was pretty much at a job where I worked solo. I didn't have to talk to anyone in the office besides on the telephone. So anyway, my manager came over and she had some information to tell me. I can't tell you what the hell she wanted to pass on to me, because at this point, I was starting to like really trip. I remember she's standing in front of me over here at my desk, and she's the kind of lady that at the end of everything she says, she raises her voice, so you don't really know if she's done talking. Like, she'd be like, so yeah, and then I just want you to do this, and then I did that, and then can you make sure you check these for me, okay? And is that okay for you to do that? And so she keeps talking to me, and she keeps nodding her head and being like, okay, and I'm just like, yep, okay. And she's giving me this look like, is everything okay? Are you alright? I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm fine, I'm great, I'm fantastic. Meanwhile, I'm thinking, fuck, how big are my pupils right now? This might not be good. And so she slowly leaves, like she lingered a lot. I don't like bosses who linger. I don't like bosses, period. So she left, and at this point I was just like, this was a really stupid idea. how the fuck am I going to do my work right now? If it doesn't pass in the hour I have for lunch, then I'm probably just going to leave sick or something, because there's no way I can handle this. What I failed to take into consideration is, of course, set and setting. 15 milligrams of 2CB in the comfort of my own home was like, no problem. But that same 15 milligrams in an office setting, when I'm surrounded by coworkers and I've got a manager talking to me, giving me instructions, is a totally different set and setting. When you're in an uncomfortable situation and you're on a psychedelic, it heightens the trip. Like, it completely. So the same dose in a comfortable setting almost feels doubled when you're in like an uncomfortable setting. I mean, it's probably not really doubled, but it's definitely way more intense. So I quickly got out of there. I got up, I left my desk, and I went out to the museum. And this is when things started to get pretty fucking cool, actually. They had all these really neat Maori statues. If you don't know what Maori are the native New Zealanders. So at the museum, they had a lot of like their sculptures, their statues, which were really cool. They've always got like these seashells in the eyes, and they even had like their little huts that you could go in. There was one hut that you could go in. So on my phone playlist, I put on Schmongle. I was listening to the Museum of Consciousness album. How fitting, of course. And I was just wandering around this museum and looking at all the really cool artifacts and ancient war stuff. And I was getting a really cool feeling. Like, I felt like I was connecting to the ancient Maori and connecting to that tribal way of life. And before I knew it, it was time to go back to work. And at this point, I was totally fine. The trip had calmed down. The peak had passed. It only lasted about an hour. When I went back, I was still getting a bit of visual distortions, but overall, I was just feeling really chatty and open. Like, I was very quiet at this job. I didn't talk to anybody. When I came back, I was just a chatty Cathy. I was talking about everything. I'm sure people thought there was something seriously fucked up with me. And yeah, there's not really much else to tell. My manager never confronted me about anything, and I probably got absolutely no work done that day. Now, I don't think that you guys should follow in my footsteps and take 2CB at work. It probably won't always go as smoothly as my trip went. Luckily, I timed it properly and I left when the peak happened. Otherwise, if I had to go through that peak while I was still sitting in my chair and doing work, that would have got scary. I probably would have just retreated to the bathroom and hung out there. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my story. Thank you to everyone on Patreon. Your continued support is really keeping these videos going, so thank you guys. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Till next time, take care, everybody. Let me know in the comments below which deleted video you would like to see next, and I will do my best to get that up for you guys next Friday for the next episode of Flashback Friday. We're also going to be doing probably, maybe, potentially Talk to Me Tuesdays, Substance Sundays, and hopefully for the year of 2020, we are going to have an actual upload schedule that you guys can depend on. There's also the chance that I'm going to flop and fuck this whole thing up, but I don't think so. Ever since kicking that amphetamine habit, yeah, everything's going a lot more smoothly, guys. Anyway, I could talk your ear off. Take care.